It's easier if you do it bilaterally to get some kind of a framework agreement in principle that may or may not become a trilateral agreement, right? That's what we have here. So the way you pose it as if it's a little bit of a take it or leave it for Canada, doesn't it give the Canadians a little bit of leverage here, because we're operating on a little bit of an artificial schedule with the 90-day notice period and electoral issues coming in and a new Mexican administration. So I just wonder if we're going to play this out a few steps down the line, whether in fact this is the makings of some kind of a final deal or not.
Well, look, there's no leverage here. I mean, we've illustrated that the bilateral approach of negotiating can work, okay? The key point is you have different issues with Canada than you might with Mexico. They're much different issues. I mean, the auto stuff, the domestic content stuff is, the wages, really not so germane to Canada. Canada, and I don't want to walk through all the paragraphs in the Canadian issues, but obviously we've had trouble with milk and dairy products, and some of that dairy stuff I think is 290, 300% tariffs. So we got different kinds of issues with Canada. So I don't know about the leverage. All I'm saying is we have shown that good trade negotiation on both sides in good faith can work. That's what we've shown. And we've shown that we can answer a lot of questions about the health of the economy of both Mexico and the U.S. That's why I say it's a great victory for growth. It's a great victory for free and fair trade. It's a great victory for international cooperation. People can learn from that. Frankly, I hope the Canadians come to terms. They're coming down here, I think, tomorrow. We'll see how those negotiations progress. That's all I can do for now. I don't think it's a question of leverage. I'm just being realistic.
Larry, let's talk about China. The Chinese yuan's recent slide has paused in the last couple of trading sessions. It's a currency you and I both know is controlled by the government. Is the fact that they've decided to stem their currency's fall something that you welcome, and is it something that you and the president had urged them directly to do?
Well, I'm not going to comment on currency movements in the U.S. government and so forth. That's a Treasury Department issue. I would say this, just speaking personally. It's always better to have stable currencies. Always better. And we had a lot of stability with the yuan down through the years, and we had sometimes not stability. Many people, myself included, thought there was a lot of currency manipulation by the yuan this spring and summer, for example. Maybe that's right, maybe it's not. That's my view. I also think, Wilfred, you got a problem with the Chinese economy. I mean, whether you're looking short-term or way long-term, whether you're looking at 6 months or 10 years, we've seen a big slump in China investment, China retail sales, China industrial production. I think money has been flowing out of China. I think capital has been flowing out of China because of economic weakness, because their so-called state capitalist model doesn't work. It's flowing to the U.S. I mean, the interesting thing here, and I don't want to beggar thy neighbor, that's not my point, but look, the U.S. is the hottest economy in the world. All right, our entrepreneurs, our large and small businesses, our workforce, and our unemployment rate, we're crushing it right now. And money is flowing to the place where it's treated most hospitably with the highest rate of return. So I think that's hurting the Chinese yuan. And if China would take a moment and look at some of the things that we've been asking in various meetings and forums, and they might have a more satisfactory response. You remember years ago when I was here last time working at OMB, Mrs. Nancy Reagan had a great campaign against drugs. She was right on. She said, just say no. All right, people mocked her for a bit, but she was dead right. So I would give some advice to my Chinese friends. Fellas, sometimes just say yes. We get nothing from them, whether it's technology transfers or IP or ownership or commodities. They never say yes. So how can we go, in good faith with that very poor point of view? If they change, it would be most welcome. I think that's part of the decline in the yuan as well. And again, maybe China will have a look at some good cooperation between the USA and Mexico. And by the way, we're also beginning a lot of cooperation with the USA and the European Union. So people can learn from these if you have, earnest, goodwill kinds of negotiations. You can do it if you want to do it.